Where are you?
Welcome in. Hi, Tommy. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Monday. Hi, Justin. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Gotham. Hi, Anna. Hi, Mace. Hi, Sav. Hi, Mary. Hi, Ren. Hi, Priscilla. Hi, Lily. Hey, Blue Cats. Hi, Johanna. Welcome in, everybody. Johanna, I did the same thing. I'm still waiting for one of mine to come in because the first one I ordered was too big. So I'm waiting for the second one to come. So I've only ordered one at a time too. But once I get that right size, man, I'm going to go to town. I'm going to order a bunch of them. Hi, Seabass. Welcome in. That's okay, lovely. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Justin. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Monday. We had a new story premiere tonight, so you guys will get to hear a brand new story for the first time. And thank you to the Porch Pals who came to the premiere. I really appreciate it. Hi, Fiona. How you doing? Live, laugh, love. So did I. So did I. Hi, Pippa. Hi, April. Hi, Court. Hi, Robin. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Sparkles. Hi, Jamie. Hi, Jamie. Guys, I love it when my in real life friends come to my live. So everybody say hi to Jamie. She's my IRL friend and I love her. I can call you Piglet. That's such a cute nickname. Hi, Lemons. Oh, I didn't even see it, Jamie. Thanks, boo. Love you. The premiere was good, Holly. The premiere was good. So I will be reading a new story for you guys this evening. Anybody in here from the Ozarks or nearby? We got any Missouri or Arkansas Porch Pals in here tonight? Because that's where our new story takes us. Really, Ange? I love that. Shells, there you go. Shells, Kara, perfect. Well, guess what? The story tonight takes place in Missouri. And it's a spooky one. Oh, yeah, Allie. I try to make it every Monday. If I can. Hi, Yanni. Which show, Yanni? Which one? Also, another one of my in real life friends just got in here, Christina. This is Christina. She's been my friend since high school. That's right. We were like in a clique together. We were like besties and still are. She was literally like not just someone I knew from high school. She's like literally one of my best friends. So she's known me literally since I was 14. Yep, you are an official Porch Pal now. Which show are you talking about? Oh, Ozarks. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've seen that show too. Hi, Wolf King. Her CB handle name was Lady Ozark. I love that, Ange. What a badass. That totally counts, Christina. Totally counts. Oh, thanks, Cable, and thanks for coming to the premiere. Also, CJ, thank you for making it to the premiere too. You missed Justin's joke. He said that the new picture looks like you when you haven't had your scenes. Jennifer, I haven't, but that doesn't sound very enticing. That doesn't sound like something I want to watch. I actually don't really write stories about humans, Jennifer. I've only done 3, and they were questionably human. I don't write scary stories about humans. I'm a supernatural paranormal gal. Only. The whole point of that is to escape the realities of humans. But it sounds like it was pretty scary, huh? Allie, hi. How you doing? Cable, of course, no problem. Humans scare me way more than anything supernatural. Hi, Draconis. That's okay, live, laugh, love. How's Lilith? Poor baby. Hi, Jason. Hi, Jennifer. Right, Mary? Yeah, like give me like any cryptid, elemental, anything all day, but a crazy ass dude? No, thank you. No, thank you. Yep, 100% Suzanne. Hi, Ducky. How you doing? Yeah, Jamie. It's a little behind between the two. It takes, like when I change the backgrounds, it takes YT a minute for the background to switch. But that's because it's streaming through a third party instead of directly through YT. So there's a transfer lag with the stream. Kind of like when someone from the news, you see a reporter from the news and they're like holding their earpiece and the person says, now to you, Karen. And then it takes her like, she's like paused for like a whole minute almost. And then she's like, all right. So that's the lag you're seeing. It's from it's from taking a stream and restreaming it. If that makes sense, probably not, but I used to work in TV and I try to make it make sense. Why, John, are you in a hurry? Are you in a big hurry, John? Also, guys, welcome in if you're new here. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore, and I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I am here every single night from 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until 1 in the morning. Remember when I would try to find you on the news live stream? Yes, I do. I do. Jamie would watch the live stream because I was on a show that was live for 4 hours a day. Like even when we ate our lunch. Like I'm not kidding. People like would go on YouTube and like watch us do everything. It was like a reality show. It was very weird. And Jamie would go on the live stream and try to find me and then talk shit to me when I was like taking my breaks. I'm telling y'all, this girl has this is the same one I tell you guys about that texts me every single live. She's always, I love her. She's always trying to give me shit when I'm like literally live on air my whole life. Are you in a hurry, Tyrese? Welcome in. Do you have an attention span or no? Thanks, Tommy. I appreciate that. Rochelle, you're so funny. Oh my God. Lucy, it's 3 a.m. And John, we vote first on like people are about to write in their requests. And then I write them down and I put them in a poll, and then everybody votes for the story they want to hear first. And that usually happens in about 10 minutes. And that's okay, Tyrese. Just sit back and relax. My job here is to force people to take a deep breath and relax your nervous system, because none of us do. We're all so quick and swipey, and it's not good for us. So sometimes I get a little sassy to help you guys realize, hey, take a deep breath. Not everything needs to go so fast. And we can just relax together and chill on this porch. And if you like Are You Afraid of the Dark or Goosebumps or Twilight Zone or So Weird or Eerie, Indiana, any of those classic spooky shows, you're in the right place. So now, if you guys would please do me a big favor. Well, it's sassy with care though, KJ. It's sassy because I care. I want people to slow down and take a breath, you know? Yeah. Well, and because when I was a news reporter, you guys don't understand what I was like. Like, I have taken years of working to become like have my nervous system regulated the way it is now. Do you know what I mean? Hi, Winnie. Because when I was a news reporter, I was a nervous wreck. Just like they say the term nervous wreck, that's because your nervous system is not regulated, and most of ours aren't, because we're not supposed to be taking this much information. We're not supposed to be swiping constantly. We're supposed to take a minute to like breathe and process things and relax and form opinions and stuff. So ask Jamie. Yeah, she said it's true. She was a nervous Nelly. It's true. I was like, yep. I used to have the worst anxiety. I used to cry at the drop of a pin, which I still kind of do, but for different reasons. Like happy joy crying, not like nervous breakdown crying. So I can tell you from my experience that it's so good for you to relax, and everybody needs to relax more. We all do. And I still have times where I'm like, I stop myself and I'm like, dude, you just need to relax. Like, what are you doing? Like, so sometimes I think it's nice to have somebody else be like, hey, are you in a hurry? Why don't you just relax a little bit? You know? So anyway, if you guys could do me a favor now and write your story requests, the ones you would like to hear tonight, in all capital letters in the chat, and I'm going to write them down in my little notebook here with my clicky pen, and then I'll put up the first poll and we will get to the first story. Hell yeah, Tequila, good job. I do, Jennifer. I have several. I have like 2 or 3. Oh, thanks, Diamante. Oh my God, Tyrese, I love your answer. That's so cute. I love your answer. A lot of people think this when they come in for the first time, that I just read spooky stories, and I myself love the Headless Horseman. Okay, so like 100% I would read that, but I only read my stories. So since you're new, just sit back and relax and you'll learn my stories. But they are all available on my YT channel and all of the podcast sites if you ever want to listen to them not live. But shout out to you, because I am a big fan of the Headless Horseman. I love that story, but I only read my stories, so I'm sorry. And thank you, Lily. That's so kind. Exactly, Ange. Ichabod Crane. Now I'm like, man, I need to write a headless horseman. I did write that. You know what? I did write that one, The Road, for St. Patrick's Day about the headless guy. So I'm gonna put that on the list for tonight. I'm gonna put that on the poll for tonight because I do have a headless horseman story. It's not the one with Ichabod Crane, but. Which car, Jason? There's a couple car stories. Coconut shrimp. Aw. Be nice. The Fresno knees, Jamie. Jamie, even you won't write in caps for me, dude. Come on. Yeah, I saw that, Lisa. Thank you. Okay, let's see here. Hi, Star. A nice Florida story? Jamie, I have a Florida story about Silver Springs. You want me to put it on the thing? Christina is going to be in my next one, and Jamie, you need to be in one too. Pick a spooky Florida story, Jamie, or wherever you want to put us in, like folklore, and I'll write something about it. Okay. So nobody wants to write in capital letters tonight, I guess not. Except for Tyrese wrote in capital letters, and I appreciate the hell out of that. Thank you. The Kelpie folklore? Yeah. Me too, Jamie. I loved it as a kid. Same thing. A random horse on a beach. Me too. I'd be like, can I pet that dog? You just got a job offer in the streets on Sycamore. I love that. That's so cute. Oh, I love that, Lisa. Yay. Yeah, my YT channel really is great for falling asleep. That was my intention of making it. And then I did the lives just because people wanted to hear them live. But I really like listening to the YT. Thank you, Trisha. I appreciate that. It's just so hard to separate them. Like, it takes me twice as long to write the list out if you guys don't put them in capital letters, because I just have to sit here in silence and scroll through every single comment, basically, because I can't tell which one's a story. Thank you, Tracy. I got yours. Rochelle, I got yours. And thank you, Trisha, for your help. Okay. You guys should have a free bag of chips. What kind of chips? Lily, I'm sorry you're not feeling very good. I hope you feel better. And yes, Terry, there's always room for one more on the porch. Oh, thanks, Tyrese. Yeah. I make a point to talk to everybody and hang out, and you guys get to pick the stories, and we have a lot of fun here. So I'm glad you're here. Plus, I love the name Tyrese. I think you're the first person I've ever known named Tyrese besides the really hot actor. You don't happen to be him, do you? Just kidding. That's the only Tyrese I've ever known. Well, I don't know him, but known of. Oh, you need to sleep, Omar? Okay. Well, I hope I can help you get to sleep. And if you're not able to sleep on the live, my YT channel is awesome for sleeping too. There's a whole playlist called Bedtime Stories. And thank you, Kim. How you doing tonight? Star, no, my eyes aren't bothering me. I can see everything. The capitals let me, because the chat moves so fast that the capital letters let me see one and go, oh, story request. Because otherwise it's a lot of people chatting with each other and stuff, and it's hard for me to catch the stories. And it just takes me twice as long to write the list, because then I have to scroll through every single comment. When a lot of the comments are you guys like chatting with each other. So Phoenix, that's why we're just putting the story request in all capital letters. Hi, TR. Okay, Trisha, I got your boo hag. Thank you, James. James, what was yours? I probably already wrote it down. Hi, Laura. Thank you, Trisha. Okay, I think I got... Ooh, a bacon grilled cheese, Suzanne. Hell yeah, that sounds so good. Okay. Jordan, we're about to vote on the first one right now. Tyrese said, I would never. The armless cryptids, okay. Oh, hi, Chance. Welcome in. Those are the Fresno night crawlers, by the way. The armless cryptids. All right, you guys. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. I'm going to set up the first poll for us to vote on the first story that I'm going to read. And if you guys could do me a big favor while I'm setting up the poll, if you guys could just hit that share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner. And then there is a little yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs, and it helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. So grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, sit back and relax, watch the shooting stars, and welcome to the porch. I will be right back with the first poll. Hello, Ron Tom. How are you doing? What's the period for? Welcome in. Hi, John. Grilled cheese and coffee. Hi, John. How you doing? Okay, Jamie, I thought you were going to say your next purchase was going to be some Porch Lore merch. But nope, a human-sized dog bed. That's cool, too. That's cool, too, Jamie. Jordan, what does it say? Brian, what do you mean? Gifts like quartz? What do you mean? Like crystals? Like, do you mean an actual quartz crystal? Okay, Brian, I'll message you and give you my P.O. box address. Because I do have an address, and I thought that's what you meant. And I was like, wait a minute, I think he means not gifts on TT. I think he means he wants to send me a crystal. And I would love that. I would love to receive a crystal. So thanks. I'll send you my address. That's so sweet. And you guys, I only knew that he meant that because I know Bryant, and he is very into the spiritual metaphysical world as well. So that's why I assumed he meant a crystal. Otherwise, I wouldn't have assumed that, I don't think. That's weird, Jordan. I wonder why. Jordan, it worked for me, so maybe just swipe out and come back in. Because I just tested it to see if it was like a restriction or something. No. So I maybe just swipe out and come back in. This app, it has a mind of its own. It just likes to glitch and do whatever it feels like doing. All right, I'll be right back with the poll. Just typing it in right now, guys. Sorry. Okay, you guys, the first poll is ready. We have the door in the water, the Fresno night crawlers, the Silver Springs phantom, the Pine Barrens beast, and the boo hag. You can vote in the blue box in the top left-hand corner. And we've got the door in the water, the Fresno night crawlers, the Silver Springs phantom, the Pine Barrens beast, or the boo hag. Who's it gonna be? And Jamie, I put the Silver Springs one on there for you. Door in the water and the Pine Barrens beast are neck and neck. Oh, just kidding, not anymore. Oh, the Fresno Nightcrawlers is catching up. Those little creepy creeps are catching up. Those little pants are crawling to the top. Those creepy little pajama pants. Oh, Pine Barrens beast has beaten the pajama pants. But Door in the Water is really just in the lead by a lot now. I don't think there's any turning back at this point, you guys. That's right, Kim. The haunted silk stockings are not in the lead. Oh, Lord. Mercy. Y'all, that was an upset. Did y'all see that? Dang. Did you guys see that? The Pine Barrens beast came out of nowhere, like all beastie like, and was like, nope, I'm gonna win. I wish I could, Solace. Welcome to the porch. All right, guys. The Pine Barrens beast won at the last second. Someone sniped it. The Pine Barrens beast came in with a vengeance. That's a good question, Ren. I don't know. And said you're welcome. No, it's not. It is not, Jennifer, but don't worry. The next poll will have 3 options that are all squatchies. All right, guys, I'll be right back with the tale of the Pine Barrens beast. Just got to pull up the backdrop and the script. So grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, sit back and relax and get comfy, and welcome to the porch. As I always say, there is always room for one more on the porch. Feel free to hit that share arrow and repost the live. It helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. Also, if you would like, check out the merch when you get a chance. It's really cute and funny, silly stuff. Even if you don't want to buy anything, give it a gander. It's funny, cute stuff, and it's a lot of our inside jokes. Look, y'all, for once the pink banner came out after the poll was over. That's a first. It really does suck, Jennifer. It really sucks. Cindy, probably. Hi, Mac. Welcome in. Happy Monday. We're about to tell the story of the Pine Barrens beast. Hi, Megs. Welcome back. Everybody welcome him, Mac. Give him a follow if you haven't followed him. He's amazing. He has a late night live where people come in and tell their spooky stories, and he also writes stories and tells them too. Oh my God, Megs, that's so cute. Thank you. That's the first time I've gotten that one. And Khaleesi, thank you for the crane. All right, guys, quick swig, and I'll be right back with the Pine Barrens Beast. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the Pine Barrens Beast. I know that when most people hear the word cryptid, they think of Bigfoot, the Chupacabra, or maybe even Mothman. But those stories always felt distant to me. Fun, scary campfire tales. But nothing to ever truly make my stomach drop. Not until I came face to face with something that I can barely describe. Something that still haunts me when I close my eyes at night. This is the story of how I survived an encounter with the beast of Pine Barrens. Somebody please catch Anthony up. He thinks we're a cult. He doesn't understand the Midnight Society reference. Now, if you've never heard of the Pine Barrens, it's a sprawling, desolate stretch of forest in New Jersey, covering over 1 million acres. It's the kind of place where civilization feels like an afterthought. Endless miles of twisted trees, forgotten trails, and ghost towns swallowed by nature. And if you know anything about East Coast legends, you know what lurks there. The Jersey Devil. I grew up hearing stories about it. The devil bird with leathery wings, hooves, and a scream that could stop your heart. Thank you, mic drop. Some say it was the cursed 13th child of Mother Leeds, doomed to stalk the Barrens for eternity. Others claim it's just folklore. But after what I went through, I know better. This happened a few years ago when I was doing a solo camping trip. I know, dumb idea, right? But I'd been feeling burnt out and suffocated, and I needed an escape. So I packed up my Jeep, grabbed my tent, and I headed deep into the Barrens. I found a nice secluded spot near a creek, set up camp, and I spent the first day hiking, enjoying the crisp autumn air. Everything felt peaceful and quiet. That first night, I woke up around 2 a.m. to the sound of something moving outside my tent. At first, I thought it was just a deer, maybe a raccoon. But then I heard breathing, deep, raspy, and wrong. I froze, my fingers clutching the sleeping bag. The air felt heavy and charged, like the moment before a lightning strike. And then I heard it. this guttural, choked scream that made my blood turn to ice. Good night, CJ. I hope you feel better. It wasn't just a noise. It was a feeling. An invasive, mind-altering terror that told me that I needed to run. The footsteps circled my tent, slow and deliberate. Whatever it wasn't in a hurry. It knew I was trapped. My inadequate flashlight was within reach, but I was afraid. If I turned it on, that I'd see whatever was out there, and I wasn't sure I could handle that. Then the tent fabric shifted, pushing inward. Something was pressing against it, close enough that I could make out the shape. A long, spindly limb ending in clawed fingers. My breath hitched. I felt like I was going to be sick. It dragged those claws down the fabric, the sound like nails on a coffin lid. I don't know how long I laid there paralyzed. Minutes? Hours? Eventually the thing backed away. I heard it retreat, heavy hoof-like steps fading into the woods. I didn't sleep the rest of the night. As soon as the sun came up, I packed my gear in record time and I bolted. When I got back to town, I did some research. Over the centuries, countless people had described the same thing. A gaunt, winged creature with glowing eyes, seen stalking the pine barrens, attacking livestock, even chasing cars. And the scream, that blood-curdling, nightmare-fueled shriek, it matched every recorded description of the Jersey Devil. I still don't know why it left me alone that night. Maybe it was just toying with me. Maybe I wasn't worth the kill. Or maybe it just wanted me to know that it was real. That it's out there. Waiting. Watching. So, if you ever find yourself deep in the pine barrens at night, do yourself a favor. Don't listen too closely to the sounds outside your tent. Because sometimes the stories are true. And sometimes the things in the dark are looking right back at you. And that's the tale of the Pine Barrens Beast. Thank you, Poodle. Yes, I love X-Files. I get a lot of inspiration for my stories from that show. Everybody's favorite spooky story, the crawl space, is actually inspired by X-Files. No, Hunter, that wasn't the new story. That's an old one. That's the Pine Barrens Beast. And thank you, yes, everybody, thank you for tapping. I appreciate the taps. And welcome in. I'll be right back with the porch. Hi, Jade. Hi, Leva Lux. Welcome in, everybody. If you're new here, my name is Devin. And this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. and I am here every night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. I do write and record all these stories myself, and if you like them, you can find them on my YT channel as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. Just look for Porch Lore and you will find me. Thank you for the follow, Tanya. Welcome to the porch. Oh yes, Leva, we're about to vote on the next story, so welcome in. Oh no, Lakota. Oh. Hi, Cassie. All right, you guys, I'm going to set up the next poll for us to vote for the next story. And welcome in. Happy Monday. If you guys would do me a big favor and hit that share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner. Hi, Grim. He said we're not a cult. Hi, Grim. Nice to see you. If you guys get at that share arrow, there's a yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs, and it helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. And I will be right back with the next poll to vote for the next story. Now, Tanya, what about iHeartRadio? You found me on there? Or you're going to follow me on there tomorrow? Oh, thank you, Bed of Dust. I appreciate that. And the recordings of my lives after they're done automatically they also go onto the YT. So if you miss the lives, you can catch up anytime you would like. Hi, Tater Tot. Maureen, thank you for the paper crane. And thank you, Mic Drop. And Ange, thank you for the paper cranes. And Carmen, thank you. And Megan, thanks for the name shout. Amanda, thanks for the paper crane. Be right back with the poll. Hi, Riverman. What do you mean, Anthony? That's not true. The live recordings have me talking the whole time. Really? Have you checked out the live recordings? Are you sure? That doesn't make any sense. It's literally just an exact recording and I talk with my mic. So like this right now, what I'm saying to you will be on the recording. Okay, I'll be right back with the poll. Oh yeah, Grim, my live recordings aren't on the Audify. Sorry. They're only on YT. Okay, you guys, I have the next poll ready. You can vote if you're on TT in the top right hand corner in the blue box once I hit send. And we have the door in the water. It was so popular last time, I figured I'd give it another shot. We have the Sasquatch Stalker. We have the Honey Island Swamp Monster. We have the Camper Van. And we have the Fresno Nightcrawlers. All right, you can vote in the blue box in the top left-hand corner if you're on TT. And we have the door in the water versus the Sasquatch Stalker versus the Honey Island Swamp Monster versus the Camper Van versus the Fresno Nightcrawler Creepy Pants. And in case you guys can't tell, the Fresno Nightcrawlers are like the only cryptid I'm actually kind of frightened of. That's why I keep mentioning how creepy they are and how they're weird pants. I just don't like it. They're so creepy. They're so creepy. What, Phil? What about my live recordings? Huh? Yes, it's called Lighthouse. Oh, Tanya. Oh, you like my lighthouse story. Is that what you're saying? No, Gemini. I am also on YT and Twitch right now. Yeah, Phil, they're on YT. Yep. The recordings, yeah, they're not on this one. Yes, Tanya, the lighthouse story, that's my story. Do you, Leslie? I love that. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate you. Yes, thank you to all my mods. I appreciate you guys so much. You guys are so sweet and helpful. Thank you. All right. Oh, guys. Yeah, Rochelle. She's talking about Travis. Aw, Leslie. Aw, thanks, Tanya. Welcome to the porch. It's nice to have you here. Grab a beanbag chair. Grab a hammock. All right, you guys, the story that won is the door in the water. So I will be right back. Just give me 1 second to set that up, and I'll be right back with the tale of the door in the water. And yes, Lacey, that was a close one. Camper Van almost won. Yes, Lori, don't worry. You've only missed one story. Guys, the silky music's not loading. Give me 1 second. Oh, thank you, Tanya. That's so kind. Fixed it. Fixed it. Sorry, guys. I have absolutely no idea why that happened. It just like wouldn't play. Weird. But we've got it figured out now. Thank you, Jen, for the star map of Polaris. That's beautiful. Oh, yeah, your B-Day's tomorrow? Oh my gosh. Good night, Gotham. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the door in the water. Thank you, Langley. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, Akaro. Thanks, Stephanie and Taylor. And Hito, thank you. Thanks, Seabass, Phoenix. Thank you, Chicago. And this is one of my favorite stories, by the way. It only premiered a couple weeks ago, but it has definitely become one of my favorite stories. Thank you, Akaro. Also, that's oh, that's okay, Joker. Hi. Also, that's me on the rock there. And that is my pet, actually best friend, Seal Curtis. In case you guys didn't know, that's Curtis. He's super duper cute. And yeah, because I get that question a lot. Oh yeah, Jade is Curtis. Oh, Sherry, you asked how Curtis was. I love that. He's doing great. He's adorable. I love him. Okay, so I do actually, for this story specifically, I gotta start it over. Sorry, guys. I do actually read timed to the cadence. I timed my cadence to the music so that it hits at certain parts. Yeah, you too, Bryant. I'll message you after my live and give you the address. submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the door in the water. Ireland has a long memory for the things that live near the water. Rivers, lakes, tidal inlets, places where the land blurs into something deeper, have always carried their own folklore. Long before written history, stories passed from village to village about beings that lived in those shifting boundaries between land and water. Some were said to be spirits. Others were described as ancient races that existed alongside humanity, but rarely revealed themselves. One of the oldest and most widely known among them is the Selkie. In Scottish and Irish folklore, Selkies are described as seals that can shed their skins and take human form on land. The stories appear in oral traditions stretching back centuries along the Atlantic coast, particularly in places where fishing villages lived side by side with the sea. But the legends don't treat Selkies like romantic fairy tales. Most of the old stories carry warnings. They describe fishermen seeing seals watching them from the water with unsettling intelligence. They describe people who claim to encounter strangers along empty shorelines, who seemed almost human, but not. And the most persistent belief woven through these stories is simple. If a Selkie's sealskin is stolen while they are on land, they cannot return to the sea. Some folktales describe human men hiding the skins and forcing the Selkie to marry them and remain on land. But the ending of those tales is rarely happy, usually resulting in Selkies killing the human man, finding her skin and leaving. No matter what life she built on land, no matter who she leaves behind, when given the choice, she will always return to the sea. And the men who tried to remove that choice usually wound up dead. And in some stories, the sea takes something with it when that happens. The men's soul. I had been traveling along Ireland's western coastline for several days, working on a series about folklore that still lingers quietly in certain landscapes. The Atlantic coast of Ireland is the perfect place for that kind of story. Cliffs fall straight into cold gray water. Fishing villages sit exactly where they have for centuries. The wind carries the smell of salt and seaweed across miles of open stone. It's the kind of place where old stories don't feel completely separate from the present. Eventually, my route took me to Doolin, a small village perched along the coast not far from the cliffs of Moher. Most visitors come there for the cliffs or the traditional music pubs. But a few miles north of the village sits a narrow stretch of shoreline that locals sometimes call the Seal Strand. It's not marked on tourist maps, and there's no sign pointing the way. Just a rough gravel track leading toward the water. I found the place late in the afternoon while exploring the coastline. The Atlantic stretched out endlessly beyond the rocks, gray waves rolling slowly toward the shore. A handful of seals were resting on black stone ledges near the waterline. They watched me quietly as I approached. Seals are common along the Irish coast, so at first the sight didn't seem unusual. But the way they were watching me did. They weren't startled. They didn't slide back into the water like most seals do when people get close. They just stayed there, watching, following my movements with their eyes. The tide was beginning to fall, exposing long stretches of slick rock that hadn't been visible earlier. Pools of seaweed collected in the crevices, reflecting the dimming sky. I walked along the shoreline for a while, filming the seals from a distance and listening to the steady rhythm of the waves. Eventually, the animals slipped quietly back into the water one by one. All except for one. It remained on a flat rock near the edge of a narrow inlet. A large gray seal. Its head tilted slightly as it watched me. The sun dipped lower, and shadows from the cliffs stretched across the water. And that was when I noticed something strange along the far side of the inlet. A figure on the rocks. At first, I thought it was just another visitor watching the sunset too. But something about their posture caught my attention. They sat perfectly still, barefoot. Long dark hair moved gently in the wind. Hi, Daniel-san. I assumed they simply just hadn't noticed me yet. The inlet was quiet, except for the sound of waves brushing against the rocks. So, I walked a little closer. And that's when the seal on the rock behind me slipped into the water. The splash echoed across the inlet, and the figure on the far side turned their head and looked directly at me. Their expression wasn't surprised or annoyed. It was almost as if they had been expecting someone. They stood slowly and they stepped onto the wet rocks beside the inlet. And that's when I noticed something else. Their clothes lay folded neatly on a nearby stone. And beside them, something dark and heavy. Something that looked almost like a wet animal hide. For a moment, neither of us moved. The wind picked up slightly, pushing small waves through the narrow channel between the rocks. The figure studied me with a calm and steady expression. And then it did something that I still struggle to explain. They stepped directly into the water and disappeared beneath the surface without a splash. I stood there waiting for them to reappear. Seconds passed, and then a minute, and the water remained perfectly calm. No movement, no sign of anyone surfacing. I walked to the edge of the inlet and I looked down into the dark water. The tide had pulled away enough that the bottom should have been visible through the clear surface. But the channel dropped deeper than I expected and the water turned black just a few feet below the rocks. As I leaned closer, something moved beneath the surface, slow and smooth, rising upward. The gray seal from earlier broke the surface of the water only a few feet from where the figure had vanished. It floated there quietly, looking up at me. And in that moment, the strange thought crossed my mind. That maybe I was looking into the same eyes that had been watching me from across the inlet. The seal held my gaze for several seconds, and then it slowly turned toward the rock where the folded clothes still lay. And I realized the hide was gone. Nothing remained except the pile of clothes on a wet stone and the sound of the ocean moving around it. When I turned back toward the water, the seal had vanished. Night was settling over the coastline by then. The wind grew stronger, pushing the tide slowly back toward the shore. The inlet began filling with deeper water, and I stayed there for a while longer, trying to convince myself that there had to be an explanation. A swimmer, a diver, someone who had slipped away beneath the rocks. But the longer I stood there, the more the scene replayed in my mind. The folded clothes, the dark hide beside me, the way the seals had watched me earlier, and the way that final one had surfaced exactly where the figure had disappeared. Eventually, I started walking back to the gravel road. The last light of day had faded completely, leaving only the pale outline of waves against the rocks. Halfway up the path, I heard a sound behind me. It was a voice, soft, carried by the wind. Calling from the shoreline below. I turned. By now, the inlet was barely visible in the darkness. But something stood on the rock where the figure had been earlier. The wind shifted again and carried another sound across the rocks. This was a low call. This was a song. I stood there listening as the call echoed across the shoreline. And then another answered from somewhere out in the dark ocean. And then another and another, several voices singing out. The figure on the rock didn't move. It simply watched the water, waiting. The tide continued rising slowly beneath the cliffs, filling the inlet, reaching the rock where the figure stood. And just before the waves covered the stone completely, the shape disappeared beneath the water, as if it had always belonged there. I stayed long enough to watch the tide swallow the inlet entirely. The ocean grew quiet again, and the rocks vanished beneath the dark surface. Nothing remained except the sound of waves and the wind moving across the cliffs. But as I finally turned back toward the road, one thought kept circling in my mind. In all the old Selkie legends, the creature only returns to the sea after finding her skin again. And if that dark hide on the rock had really been what it looked like, then the question that stayed with me wasn't whether I had seen a Selkie that evening. That wasn't the unnerving part. The horrifying thought to me was, who was the sick human being that took her skin? And where is he now? And that's the tale of the door in the water. Good night, Anthony. Anthony, how do you not remember the Midnight Society from Are You Afraid of the Dark? That's what they called themselves before they threw the stuff in the fire and they told the story. So I called us the Porch Pal Society instead of the Midnight Society to be cute. So everyone's part of the society if you're listening to the story. Good night, Anthony. We love you. Mace said moral of the story is hide the skin well. Nope. She'll still find it, and then you're really out of luck. All right, you guys, welcome in. Welcome to the porch. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky and unexplained bedtime stories every night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. I also do have these all recorded and available for you on my YT channel, as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. Just look for Porch Lore and you will find me. Oh, really, John? Thanks. That is actually in my top as well. That's probably, you know what? That's probably two on mine as well. I love that one. I really like it. Live, laugh, love. Are you wearing your grilled cheese jammies? Rebecca said hide her skin and you'll see how pissed she can be. Yeah, pissed. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. Yeah. I love you. Lost your cryptid? Don't worry. They always return to the porch. I can't wait for y'all to hear the new story tonight. Awesome. Live, laugh, love. No, but really though, I have grilled cheese pajamas in my merch store. Just saying. They're really cute and funny. There's also shorts. And there's a mug. No, Hunter, it'll be after this next story that we vote for. I usually wait till midnight. Yeah, freaking way. And they're so cute. Good night, Lorna. Love you. We'll see you tomorrow. Sweet dreams. Hi, Ed. Welcome in. I'd do a somersault, Jane. Oh my god. When, on Wednesday? I could do a somersault on Wednesday. Oh, but they didn't, so I don't have to do the somersault. I don't understand how we went from getting 1 million taps in a row to like to not, you know? I feel like that's interesting. Well, Justin, it's not happening now. All right, guys, I'm going to set up the next poll. And if you're new here, welcome in. My name is Devin, and I tell spooky bedtime stories. If you guys could do me a quick favor and hit that share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner. There's a yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that puts my live into your friends' FYPs. And it helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. And it really helps a lot. Also, the tapping and the sharing to your friends helps immensely. So thanks. Grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, sit back and relax, watch the shooting stars, and welcome to the porch. There is always room for one more. Thank you, Ramen, for the hanging lights. And Live, Laugh, Love says, thanks, I needed the light to get to my hammock. Rebecca, thanks for the cozy cryptids. Ramen, thank you for the cozy cryptids. And Mary, thank you for the hand hearts. Average C, thank you for the paper crane. Ed, thank you for the heart me and the winky heart. Rocks, where'd that just go? Thank you for your heart me. Welcome in, everybody. I'll be right back with the next poll. And thank you for reposting and sharing and tapping. Happy Monday. Okay, guys, the next poll is ready. We have the Puckwudgies versus the Masked Visitor versus the Phantom Ride versus the Crawl Space versus Eliza Crawford's Ghost. And you can vote in the top left-hand corner. There's a blue box. A river. That's a good one, Cam. I like that. Hi, Lady Rose. Thank you, Lady Rose. Who's it gonna be, guys? Oh, the Puckwudgies are in the top place right now, followed by Eliza. Eliza's catching up. Hi, Lauren. Hi, Tolstoy. Live, laugh, love. I would love to do a plushie, but they were going to make me do it's going to take a while. I have to figure it out, and then I have to design it, and then they have to send me like a mock-up of it, and then it's like a whole thing. So I do want to do one, but I have to decide what it is first, and then it's going to take a little while. But trust me, I want it to happen. And you guys already know it's more than likely going to be a Mothman. All right, and the winner is Eliza Crawford's Ghost. Puckwudgies was so close, too. So close. Resending. Resending what? And I don't care if you resend comments. If I miss them, I like when you resend them because then I still get to see the conversation. A Funko Pop, that would be so funny. I don't even know how to do that. Justin said a grilled cheese plushie would slap. What? Yeah, I'm glad you resent it, Live, Laugh, Love, because I miss things. The chat moves so fast. I don't even mind when people repeat themselves. Thank you, Bryant. Yeah, the goat man. He still has a sticker, right? Or did we vote him off the sticker island? He still has a sticker. Right there, goat man. A goat man shaped grilled cheese. That's so funny. I feel like immediately, Justin, I imagined felt food with like a layered grilled cheese where you could like remove the cheese in the bread. I don't know why, but I imagined like play food. Rochelle, there is a beach towel. I added 3 towels. I added 3 beach towels a couple days ago. I'm telling you guys, I've been adding stuff every single day. I've been out of control. It's been really fun. There's 3 towels, Jade. And it's been really fun. So yeah, Rochelle, they're cute. They're cute. Okay, guys. So Liza's Crawford ghost won. I'll be right back with the tale of the ghost who solved her own murder. Feel free to repost or re-repost and unpost and repost if you have done it in a while. It helps with the algorithm. And I'll be right back. Thanks for the taps and all the beautiful gifts. I appreciate you guys. Chelsea, thank you for the paper crane. Thank you, Bryant. And hi, Trisha. How you doing? Also, whoever asked for the Lonely Hearts Diner print, that one is now available. I did put that up. I can't remember. There were like 3 people that asked for that, I think. Where's Michelle? Is Michelle not here tonight? I miss Michelle. Where's Michelle? Yeah, me neither. I just miss her. I love her. Okay, I'll be right back. Jade, I was just going to say, can I say how much I love you? Every time I'm like, where is somebody? And I say I miss them, it shows me at the bottom, Jade just sent an invite. I love you, Jade. You're the best. Yeah, dude, I made swimsuits. Aren't they cute? I feel like the pattern looks really good. Like the moth ended up right in the center of the back of the one swimsuit. It looks really, I'm like semi-proud of, I'm like, this looks pretty good. Anyway, yeah, the merch is really fun. Even if you don't want to buy anything, check it out. It's fun. There's a really cozy pillow. The pillows on the merch store might as well be stuffed animals or body pillows. Who was just talking about these with me yesterday? The pillows are so nice and fluffy and huge. It's wild. Tolstoy, thank you for the star map. And Cats and Coffee, thanks for the money gun. Okay, we go back to, we stay on our Banshee song, you guys. This never happens. We never stay on the Banshee song for the next story. Wow. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pals Society. This is the tale. Oh, wait. Sorry, guys. No picture. One sec. I changed it on one and not the other. My bad. Yeah, sorry, Matt. I'm doing like 17 things over here, and sometimes I just completely forget the background because it's like the last thing I do, you know? Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society, this is the tale of the ghost who solved her own murder. The small Appalachian town of Green Hollow was quiet, nestled in the hills of West Virginia. It was the kind of place where everyone knew each other and the secrets rarely stayed hidden for long. An unsolved murder had left its mark on the land and the memories of those who lived there. It was the story of Eliza Crawford, a young woman found dead under mysterious circumstances in the winter of 1897. Her death had been ruled an accident, but whispers of foul play persisted. Some claimed that Eliza's spirit still roamed the hills. But the strangest part of the tale was not just that her ghost lingered. It was that she, from beyond the grave, had a hand in solving the very crime that took her life. Jade. The day Eliza Crawford died was bitterly cold. The kind of cold that steeped through the skin and settled deep into your bones. She had left her family's farmhouse early in the morning to visit her cousin Margaret. Margaret lived across the valley. Eliza, only 23, was known for her kindness, quick wit, and beauty. Her auburn hair stood out against the snow as she trudged along the path, her breath visible in the crisp air. But she never made it to Margaret's house. It wasn't until nightfall, when her father, Jacob Crawford, returned home from town, that they realized she was missing. A search party was quickly organized, lanterns bobbing through the dark as men and women called her name into the freezing night. It was her brother, Samuel, who found her body. She laid at the bottom of a steep ravine, her limbs twisted unnaturally, her face pale in the moonlight. The doctor was summoned, but his verdict was quick. Eliza had slipped on the icy rocks and fallen to her death. Just a tragic accident. But something about the scene didn't sit right with Samuel or Margaret. Eliza had walked that path many times before. She knew the terrain too well to simply fall. But the doctor's word was final, and the town moved on. And Eliza was buried in the small cemetery on the hill beneath a weeping willow tree. Her death, while mourned, was accepted by most as an unfortunate twist of fate. except for one person, and that was Margaret. Margaret was the first to notice that something was wrong. 3 nights after Eliza's funeral, she woke in the middle of the night to a strange sound, soft like footsteps on a hardwood floor outside her bedroom. At first, she thought it was her imagination, but then came the whisper, "Margaret." The voice was unmistakable. It was Eliza. Margaret shot up in bed, her heart pounding. She called out into the dark, but no answer came. The house was still, and the only sound was the wind howling outside, rattling the windows. The next morning, Margaret told her mother, but Mrs. Blackwell dismissed it as grief playing tricks on her daughter's mind. Yet, the whispers continued, each night growing a little louder and a little clearer. "Margaret, help me." Disturbed but determined, Margaret went to Samuel. He was skeptical at first, but agreed to visit Eliza's grave with her. When they arrived, the air around the cemetery was unnaturally cold, colder than anywhere else in town. Margaret felt a chill that went beyond the winter wind. As they stood in front of Eliza's headstone, Margaret heard it again. "Help me." The voice was faint, but unmistakable, and Samuel heard it too. His face went pale as he glanced at Margaret. Eliza was trying to tell them something. After that day, Samuel began to believe. He and Margaret returned to the grave frequently, hoping for more clues, more whispers. But Eliza's voice remained elusive. It wasn't until a week later, when Margaret was walking alone in the woods near the ravine where Eliza had died, and she experienced the most chilling and charged with energy. The world around her seemed to blur, and for a moment Margaret thought she might faint. But instead of collapsing, she saw something. A vision. Faint, like a memory replaying itself before her eyes. Eliza was there, standing at the edge of the ravine, and she wasn't alone. A man was with her. Margaret couldn't make out his face, but she saw him grab Eliza's arm roughly. There was a struggle, and Eliza had tried to pull away. But she saw him grab Eliza's arm roughly, and there was a struggle. Eliza tried to pull away, but the man was too strong and he pushed her. She fell, tumbling down the ravine as the man watched. Then the vision was gone. Margaret gasped, her breath visible in the cold air. The truth of what she had seen burned in her mind. Eliza hadn't fallen at all. She had been pushed. Shaken but resolute, Margaret went to Samuel with what she had seen. His face grew darker with every word. Eliza's death was no accident, but this vision confirmed it. Someone had murdered her. But who? They thought back to Eliza's life, to the people she had known, the men she had courted, and one name came to the forefront. William Billy Turner. He had been sweet on Eliza for years, but she had always rejected his advances. Recently, though, his behavior had turned more aggressive. He had been seen arguing with her in town just days before her death. Billy Turner was a hot-headed young man, known for his temper and jealous streak. He had always been obsessed with Eliza, and Samuel and Margaret now feared that his obsession had turned deadly. That night, Eliza's whispers returned, clearer than ever. Billy, Billy. It was all the confirmation they needed. Eliza's ghost was pointing them toward her killer. Armed with this revelation, Samuel and Margaret went to the sheriff, but they knew without solid evidence their claims would be dismissed as superstition. So, they decided to confront Billy Turner themselves. They found him at a local tavern, nursing a drink by the fire. When they approached him, he sneered at them, his eyes bloodshot. Margaret felt a wave of fear wash over her, but Samuel stood firm. "We know what you did, Billy," Samuel said. "Eliza didn't fall. You pushed her." Billy's face went pale, and for a moment he looked like a cornered animal. Then he laughed, a low, bitter sound. "You're crazy. You can't prove anything." Margaret stepped forward, her voice trembling but fierce. "Eliza told us. She told us what you did." Billy's eyes darted around the room and the weight of guilt settling on his shoulders. "Thank you, Tanya. Thank you." His hand shook, and he looked like he might bolt for the door. But Samuel grabbed him by the collar, forcing him to meet his gaze. "Tell the truth, Billy, or I swear we'll make sure everyone in this town knows what you are." For a long moment, Billy said nothing. And then, with a broken sob, he confessed. He had followed Eliza that day, determined to confront her about rejecting him. And in his rage, he had pushed her, not meaning to kill her, but the moment she fell, he panicked and fled. Billy Turner's confession shocked the town, but it also brought a strange sense of relief. Eliza's death was no longer a mystery, and justice, long overdue, was finally served. Billy was arrested, tried, and sentenced for his crime. As for Eliza's spirit, the whispers stopped right after Billy's confession. Samuel and Margaret visited her grave one last time, and they stood beneath the weeping willow, and they felt a sense of peace that had eluded them for so long. "Eliza," Margaret whispered in the cold air, "we did it. You're free." The wind rustled through the branches of the willow, and for a brief moment, they both felt a warm presence, a final goodbye from their beloved Eliza. And then she was gone. And that's the tale of the ghost who solved her own murder. By the way, Lady Rose, the T-Witch stream came back on its own. Not sure how, but it's back. So, there's that. But thank you so much for telling me, girl. I really appreciate it. You're the best. All right, welcome in, everybody. If you're new here, my name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I am here every single night from 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. And it is time for the new story that premiered tonight. And if you guys could do me a big favor while I get the story ready, if you could hit that share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner. There's a yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs, and it helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. Yes, Nancy, new story time. Aw, Sherry, of course, I love you. You're the best. Thanks for being here. Hi, Wookie. Thank you for your love. How you doing? Thank you, Mackenzie. Thank you, Mace, for the cozy cryptids. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you, Tanya and Serena. All right, you guys, I will be right back with the new story. And thank you for all the reposts and the shares and the beautiful gifts. I appreciate you guys. But Lady Rose, I know that the stream did end because I was watching it on another phone and it literally went away. And then it just all of a sudden came back because I saw Nancy's comment and the stream was back. I'm like, what? So that's super weird. I've never seen that happen. But thanks for having my back, girl. Oh, really, Nancy? Yeah, it was so weird. But it's back now. But it like ended for a second. But I'm glad you're here. Thank you, guys. Yep, this is the new background. This is the new cryptid, everybody. This is the new beast. Mary, I'm glad you're here. Right, Cable? Right, Sherry? Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? Right, Angela? Absolutely not, lovely. Absolutely not. Not every cryptid gets merch. Not every cryptid gets merch. Right, Jade? Up close you can see the spit, like the saliva drip, the drool hanging off his mouth. Also, Rabbit X, somebody already answered you and told you that I'm on Eastern Standard Time. I literally see it in the chat, so why can't you? It wasn't even to me. Somebody literally added you and answered. So maybe check the chat before trying to get an attitude. Just an idea. Oh yes, don't worry, Tao. It's in the name of the cryptid, so don't you worry. I'm just getting situated. This is a new script, so I just realized I had to pull it over to my prompter. Sorry, you guys. Hi, Zan. Welcome in. This will be the first time I've read it live, so I just had to get it set up in my prompter. Thanks for your patience, guys. And also just a reminder, I have these moving banners on my screen that like say things. See them? Just pointing that out in case anybody, feels compelled to read them before popping the toot in the chat. My hours are literally listed on that banner. Just pointing that out. Anyway, be right back. Thank you, lovely. But I was actually talking about the girl that you answered and told her the hours, and then she was like, okay, so no time zone then? Like, get out of here. Get out of here, lady. Right, Sherry? Well, and we have so many people in here, and the chat moves so fast, they don't think I'm gonna see it. But guess what? Guess what? I respond to comments while I'm fucking reading. So I do see it when you talk shit to my mods in my chat. I do see it. So not only do I have half a dozen mods in here, but I am watching while I'm reading. Got it? And yes, I can do that. Ask the porch pals. I'm not bullshitting. I literally read the chat while I am reading my stories and I respond. So, I'm just putting that out there. This is not the live to do that shit, okay? Love you guys. Right, Nancy? Right? And don't worry, guys, on YT and T-Witch, you guys are lovely. There's been not a single attitude. The attitudes always come from the TT. Anyway, I'll be right back. Yes, thank you, Squeaks. Literally lovely. I literally have a degree in it. Thank you, Cable. Because I'm professionally trained to multitask, and I did it professionally for a decade, so I used to control a teleprompter with my foot while listening to a control room in my ear while reading a teleprompter and reporting the news live while trying to look okay and remember what the hell I'm supposed to say and not look like a robot. So, yeah, Jessica, seriously. Like, it is, like, anyway. Yeah, it's true. Really, Gabriel, is it Gabriel, you're correct. It's crazy. There's just a lot of really unhealed people on this app and very entitled people, but I definitely don't let them get away with it. They're gonna learn today. And they do. Oh, thank you, Trace. Thanks, Mace. You gonna learn today. I'll pull out my Appalachian ass on you. You gonna learn today. Go on, get. Go on, get. Right, Suzanne? Oh, Steven, don't worry. I have no idea how to use Discord very well either. I'm still trying to figure it out too. If it wasn't for Tommy, I'd be lost. If one of the mods, when you get a chance, could you share the Discord link in the chat for Steven? I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, I'm glad you dozed off. Yay, that's the whole point, Chelsea. Ivy, thank you for the paper crane. All right. Enough protecting my mods and putting some low vibration people off the porch. What is that thing? What is that mask? Whoa. Thanks, Fat Bottom Girl. That was cool. I will be right back. %, Chris. And that's always what it is. And that's why I try not to be mean to the people. It's more like almost an embarrassment thing so that they kind of do some self-reflection, because it's always just a need for attention. And I honestly feel like it's sad. And you know what I mean? But the entitled people isn't attention. The entitled people is they expect everyone to answer them, provide information, all these things that they can do themselves because they are too lazy to do it. And that bothers me. Because, my hours are literally on the screen. So, anyway, I'll be right back, you guys. Right, Fat Bottom Girl, it's crazy. But that's also why I feel like, thank you, Suzanne, for the cozy cryptids. And Anita, thank you for the level up sparks. And Ren, thanks for the let him cook. I feel like it's also part of like, I don't know, I'm not afraid. I don't have a lot to lose. I also am a Sagittarius. I don't have a filter. I'm honest as shit to a fault. So, I'm going to humble people. I'm going to humble people real quick. And I do feel like that's part of my job on this earth, is to like, hey, no one's ever told you? Well, I will. All the people in your life are dying for someone to tell you this. You're an ass. Thank you, Yaya. Thanks, Virgie. Or, even like the people where I've asked them just to relax, take a deep breath and chill. Like they've thanked me later. It's not out of a place of malice. It's out of a place of like, I want everybody to do better and be better. And sometimes it takes somebody calling you on your shit to be like, hey, dude, it's out of love, but you need to, you need to take a step back. Oh, Fat Bottom Girl, I wish I could not say some of the things I'm thinking sometimes. I'm the complete opposite. I have usually it's not out of a bad place, so I do it in a kind way, but I am brutally honest to a fault. And I always have been. Even in school, my teachers will be wrong, and I got in trouble all the time for correcting them, being like, actually, and they're like, you're not supposed to talk back to authority. My mom's like, well, if she was wrong, then she was wrong. I'm like, I know. What? Yeah, apparently there's supposed to be one, Squeaks. I don't know anything about that, though. Thank you, Virgie. Thanks, Rox. Letty, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Exactly, Squeaks. And that's the thing, is it's about correction. It's about what's right and trying to make people better people. It literally doesn't even have to do with an ego thing. A lot of people, I feel like it's comes from a place of ego where they're like, that person disrespected me. It doesn't even have to do with that, really. It has to do with just doing what's right and being a good person and being higher vibration for the rest of us as a collective, because we are all one collective vibration. And if you're low, you're lowering it for all of us. So it's Janae, yes, but you didn't miss the new one. It's starting right now. And you're absolutely right. That one time at band camp, 100 million %. And I'm not good at that. Yeah, exactly, Sherry. The no patience thing is really embarrassing. And it's like, I hope you work on it, because this is not going to get you anywhere in life. Patience is like the number one virtue, dude. It really is. You too, Ripper. Oh, I love you too, Janae. Yeah, me too, Spiritual Diamond. And I'm like 700 years old, so I'm just like, I've got nothing but time. I'm like, I'm not really in a hurry. So, for anything. Hi, Lab. Welcome in. Squeaks. For what? Oh. Thank you, Jade. Hi, Blake. Oh, I don't sound a year over 650. Thank you, Jack Bauer of Cats. That's such a compliment. Your girl's tired. I'm tired. Hi, Andrew. How are the donuts tonight? Oh my God, thank you for the cute little chubby fairy. Yeah, I love that thing. I already regretted not making it my goal. And Blake, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Hi, Butters. At 210, my God, thank you. Mary, thank you. Yes, I do get sassy, but I'm not rude. That's the thing. Because some people just need somebody to give them some sass. There's not enough of that these days. Because that's the thing is, it's not, it's like a discomfort, uncomfortable people can't handle anymore. And sometimes you need to feel uncomfortable to do some self-reflection. And I'm not sorry if I'm, because it'll make you better. Even if you think I'm a B, I don't care. One day in 15 years, you look back and you'll be like, man, I really grew. Oh, good, Khaleesi, because it's very annoying. I have no idea why it's such a weird app. Thank you, Lab. Oh, there it is. There's the puzzle piece. Hate that thing. Okay. All right. Well, I just blabbed a lot, so y'all get an extra story tonight. Exactly, Virgie. The puzzle piece, it's a stupid thing. It's a thing TT does. When it thinks, I know we were all on a roll. When it tries to make sure that I'm actively hosting this and that it's not being run just with somebody asleep. So they make me drag this digital puzzle piece over, like they make you do to prove you're human for all kinds of things. But it's a big one. And sometimes it pertains to what we're talking about. And that's when it weirds me out. Like it's happened numerous times. Where it'll literally be like we were talking about donuts one night. Because Andrew works at a donut place and the puzzle piece was donuts. I was like, what? I know, Phoenix. And it's so ridiculous. And it'll say it's because it detected inactivity. I'm like, I'm literally changing the backgrounds, moving the banners, changing the song, talking in real time. People are gifting. There's polls going on. I do a poll every fucking 20 minutes. And it's just ridiculous. I know, Justin, I'd be 7 million pounds if I worked at a donut shop. But they'd have no maple donuts because I know there's 540 people in here and they say they detect inactivity. Like what? But I think it happens, I don't know, it happens when there's not as much tapping going on or whatever, and people do fall asleep in here. So I'm not really sure what they think constitutes as less activity, but yeah, me too, Matt. But feel free to chat in the chat and put up some keywords like, are you afraid of the dark, goosebumps, supernatural, paranormal, goat man, Sasquatch, all those things. And feel free, maple donuts, Jack, I know. I shouldn't even have mentioned it. I mention it all the time in my lives, and I don't know why. Because then it's so late and I can't get them anywhere, and I just want to cry. Because maple anything is like my favorite flavor. And God, it's so good. Anyway, I'll be right back. Fat Bottom Girl, thank you for the furry friends. Why are those so cute? Oh, Voodoo Donuts, man, Jade. Those are so good. So good. Yes, you do, Justin. You're so lucky. Be right back. They're going to be like, this just in. Rise on demand for maple donuts has doubled. Because everybody in here is like, oh, damn, that sounds good. I'm going to DoorDash them. I'm going tomorrow. I'm going to get them right now. Aw, Squeaks. That's so sweet. Yeah. Hi, Joanne. Welcome in. I know, I'm so sorry, you guys. Now I'm craving it. I should have never mentioned it. Damn it. Yeah, the maple donut boom. Yes, Legacy, you're right on time. The new story is about to start right now. Hi, Lisa. Yeah, Legacy King, where you been? Miss you. Hi, Carmen. Welcome in. We're about to start the new story that premiered tonight. User, I'm glad you're here. And yes, one story and like I'm out. I put myself to sleep, so it's definitely a frequency of my voice thing because I can't edit my stories without or with soundproof with noise canceling headphones because I pass out and I can't finish editing. Like I literally have to use one earbud because I put myself to sleep. So it's a thing. It's the curse of a siren. And yes, everybody welcome Carmen in. First time on the porch. Welcome in. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the Ozarks Howler. Hi, Devin. Most people outside the Midwest have never heard of the Ozarks Howler. And honestly, even most people inside the Midwest treat it like one of those regional campfire stories. Something local parents use to keep their kids from wandering too far past the tree line after dark. But If you spend enough time in southern Missouri or northern Arkansas, especially around the older mountain towns, where the roads narrow into gravel and the forests seem to swallow whole stretches of civilization, that's where you'll start hearing about it in ways that don't sound like folklore anymore. The first time I heard the name was an old newspaper clipping pinned to the wall of a roadside diner outside Branson. It was framed between yellowed photographs of flood damage and a missing person flyer from the 70s. The clipping described a farmer in the 1920s who claimed he saw a beast the size of a bear with glowing eyes, horns like a ram, and a cry so unnatural it made his livestock slam themselves bloody against their pens, trying to escape. Now, depending on who you ask, the Ozarks howler is described as a shaggy black beast with horns and glowing red eyes. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, cats. Others say it looks more like an oversized mountain lion with malformed hind legs. Some insist it has tusks. Others swear it has a tail tipped with a spear. The only consistent detail in every version is the sound. The howl. Witnesses describe it as something between a wolf, an elk's scream, a woman shrieking, and metal grinding. A noise so wrong that hearing it allegedly causes nausea, panic, and sometimes temporary paralysis. Stories of the creature date back at least to the early 1800s, with settlers in the Ozarks recording encounters with what they called the devil cat or the haunted beast. But some folklorists believe the legend may be a mixture of older stories adapted from indigenous oral traditions, warning against supernatural creatures and spirits that live deep in the hills and should never be followed after dark. Others think the creature was inspired by sightings of diseased bears and escaped big cats or simple frontier paranoia. But if that were true, it should have faded. But instead, the sightings have continued. Hunters disappearing after screams were heard in the woods. Farm animals found gutted but uneaten. Campers having reported eyes in the dark followed by sounds of no known animal. Every few years, another sighting surfaces online or in local papers, usually mocked into oblivion by anyone who hadn't grown up near those woods. I rented a cabin near the Mark Twain National Forest. And if you've never heard of it, it's a very underrated, gorgeous national park in Missouri. The cabin looked charming. A wraparound porch, a stone fireplace, private acreage, no neighbors for over a mile. And at the time, that last part sounded relaxing. The drive down was gorgeous. Late October had painted the hills in rust and gold, and every curve of the mountain road looked like something out of a postcard. By the time I reached the cabin, the sun was already dipping behind the ridgeline, staining the trees copper. And I noticed the large oak tree behind the cabin had large gashes in the bark. A little alarming, but bears do live in the area. The place itself sat alone at the end of a dirt road, with forest pressing close on all sides. Dense enough that 10 feet beyond the clearing became shadows. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Rochelle. The owner had left a binder of house rules and local recommendations on the kitchen counter. Tucked between pages of Wi-Fi passwords and checkout instructions was a handwritten note, warning guests not to leave food outside due to bears. But under that, someone had scribbled in pen that if you hear something screaming in the woods, don't go looking for it. I laughed when I saw it, and I assumed it was just some tacky little joke the owner used to play up the spooky mountain aesthetic. Later that night, I was sitting on the porch under a blanket, enjoying some greenery, with a little Bluetooth speaker playing music softly beside me. The night was unnaturally quiet, just the wind moving through the leaves. And then every insect around me stopped at once. Thanks, Jen. The silence hit so suddenly it felt physical. And then I heard a sound from somewhere deep in the trees beyond the clearing. Long and loud. It started almost like an animal call and then bent upward into something agonized and human enough to make the hair on my body stand up. It sounded wrong in a way that I can't properly explain. Not scary because it was loud. Scary because every instinct in me knew that I was hearing something that I couldn't identify. The scream echoed across the hills, and then again closer. I didn't move. Then the third scream came from a different direction entirely, and not deeper in the woods, to my left and much closer, as if whatever made it was circling. I went inside immediately and I locked every door. I remember trying to rationalize it. A bobcat? A fox? A mountain lion, maybe? Animals can make horrifying noises. But I've heard recordings of all of those animals since, and none of them sounded like what I heard. I barely slept that night. And sometime after midnight, I woke to heavy footsteps moving across the wraparound porch. Boards creaked outside the bedroom window, and then stopped. I held my breath. Then came a wet, snuffing sound against the glass, like something smelling the window. And then claws dragged slowly across the pane. I stayed perfectly still until dawn. In the morning, I found muddy tracks around the porch. Nothing I recognized. Not a bear, not a dog. They were canine-shaped, but not normal. This only deepened my curiosity. I had to investigate further. Just one short walk in broad daylight, just to check out the terrain, see if I notice anything out of the ordinary. The trail wound through dense timber and limestone outcroppings, the kind of forest where visibility drops to nothing after 20 yards. Everything smelled of wet leaves and old stone. I had been walking maybe 40 minutes when I found the deer. Or what was left of it. It lay half hidden in the brush off the trail. Its rib cage was torn open, its hindquarters were untouched. The throat had been shredded so violently the head nearly hung loose, but almost no meat had been eaten. It appeared to just have been senselessly killed. I turned around immediately, and that's when I heard branches snapping behind me. Something large was moving through the woods, keeping pace. I looked back once, and I saw black movement between the trees. Low to the ground, too large for a coyote, and too fluid for a bear. Then it stepped into a beam of sunlight, maybe 30 yards off the trail. And that's when I saw it. Its body was shaped roughly like a massive wolf, but with weird proportions. Its front shoulders were too broad, the hind legs were too long, and its spine sloped unnaturally downward like a hyena. Thick black fur hung in clumps across its frame, patchy in places as though diseased or scarred. Its head was oversized and broad-jawed, and crowned with two curved, horn-like protrusions rising from above its ears. Its eyes reflected red, and its mouth hung slightly open, and strings of saliva swung from teeth too long for its jaw. And then it screamed. Not howled, screamed. The sound hit me like a physical blow, and goosebumps immediately covered my whole body. And I ran. I have never moved that fast in my life. Branches tore at my face, roots caught my boots. Behind us, I could hear it, crashing through the brush and shrieking in short bursts that sounded almost like it was excited. I burst from the trail into the cabin clearing with that thing still behind me. I slammed the door just as something hit it hard enough to shake the frame. And then another impact. Wood splintered near the hinges. Then it circled the house for what felt like hours, throwing itself against the walls, scratching the windows, screaming from different sides of the cabin as if trying to confuse me. At one point, it even climbed onto the roof, and I could hear claws scraping overhead. And then Silence. Long enough that I thought maybe it had finally left. But then the power went out. The cabin plunged into darkness, and from directly outside the living room window, I saw 2 red eyes. I stayed huddled in the bathroom with a kitchen knife and a fireplace poker until sunrise. The thing was gone by morning. My car parked beside the cabin looked like someone had attacked it with an axe. Doors gouged, windows shattered, deep claw marks raked across the hood. The police came, search teams came, wildlife officers came. They found tracks, damage, even blood from where the creature had cut itself, breaking the car glass. But no animal, no explanation. Officially, they blamed a bear. They always blame a bear. And as I waited for the car rental shuttle to come pick me up, I sat down for a moment to catch my breath. And I noticed the cabin's guest book sitting on the coffee table. So I opened it up to a bookmarked page. It was an entry from 6 years ago. A woman who described the exact same thing. The screams, the eyes, the clawing of the walls. It was written in shaky hand, and she claimed the cabin owner built the property there intentionally. His grandfather had once owned the land, and he had believed that the howler didn't just hunt randomly. It returned to places where blood had been spilled. Then decades before that cabin was built, a massacre of the local indigenous people soaked that land with blood. The local story, according to the note, was that whatever the howler truly is, it doesn't simply live in the Ozarks. It is drawn to violence, to cruelty, to places where something monstrous has happened. And it comes back again and again. It described the dozens of deep scratch marks carved into the oak behind the property, the one that I had noticed when I first arrived. Layer upon layer, some fresh, some scratches so old the bark had grown around them, as if something had been returning to that tree for generations. Maybe the moral is that some places earn their legends. Some folklore exists because enough people survive the same terror to give it a name. Maybe the Ozarks howler is exactly what the old mountain families have always said it was. A thing that manifests when the land is soaked in blood. All I know is this. If you ever find yourself in the Ozarks after dark, when the woods go silent, and you hear something screaming in the distance, don't convince yourself it's just a story. because stories aren't supposed to leave claw marks that deep. And that's the tale of the Ozarks Howler. That was the new story that premiered tonight, and that's my first time reading it live. And welcome in, everybody. Whoever wrote W Storyteller, 2K Goon, thank you. I love that comment. I love that comment, thank you. Thank you guys, you like it? That's the new one. And I feel like this cryptid is really creepy. Like this cryptid, right? Like what would y'all do if you were like just strolling through the woods and it was like what would you do? Because y'all know that usually my ass in these stories is very curious. What did I do this time? I ran. I straight up ran. Bye. Goodbye. No, thank you. See you later. There's the comment. I was just looking for it forever. Thank you, 2K Goon. Love that comment. Yeah, can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? Justin said I would simply accept fate. Yeah, I'd be like, well, at least I'm going to feed him for the day. Because what the hell? Okay, you guys, welcome in. Let me put the porch back up one sec. All right, you guys, welcome in. If you're new here, my name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and help you fall asleep. And I am here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time till about 1 in the morning. But tonight I am going to do an extra story. Is there a story where I don't make it out? No, Jack. Because then how would I tell the story if I die? I'm telling this as a ghost. Trust me, you guys, it really happened. It's how I'm a ghost. Oh, in third person? Yeah, there's several of those actually. The one I just told earlier about Eliza Crawford is third person. You like that, Whitney? Oh, thank you, Legacy. I appreciate that. What about Chelsea, Rochelle? Oh yeah, well, Chelsea disappears. And so does Riley in the other one. Oh yeah, that's okay, Jack. Yeah, there's several that aren't just from my perspective. I just read that one, and then I'm trying to think of some others. It just depends. But they're not all always from me. Thank you, Winnie. I appreciate that. So guys, grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, sit back and relax. And I will be right back with the next poll for us to vote. Thank you, Phoenix. I appreciate that. I love that story so much. The door in the water, yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, Jade likes to whine about the fact that in her story, in the story she's in, I hurt her. But it was an accident. But yes, it is the only story where I hurt someone. Because we were frantically running and I tripped on her foot and I stepped on her. That's okay, Mary. But also, I don't know if you guys noticed. Yeah, Emmy, I love that. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the Pukwudgie story is the first story I've written where... Wait, what, Fat Bottom Girl? What are you saying? Oh, damn, yeah. The Pukwudgie story is the first one I've written. Hi, Guinevere. Is the first one I've written where I get hurt. I don't know if... I think the only person that noticed it is Misty. Misty wrote a comment that was like, this is the first time you've ever been hurt in a story. They got me. Those Pukwudgies got me. You did notice, Sherry? Yeah. It's the first time I've been hurt in a story. Because the Pukwudgies, man. Because when I saw in my research that they were known to shoot poison arrows, I was like, that's cool. That I can work with that. I may or may not get shot with one of those. Because that was just a cool little detail. Most of our cryptids don't shoot things at people. So I was like, okay, I think I'm going to get hurt in this story. Right, Ren? I think that's cool. I was like, what? Because most cryptids don't have reports of doing, like, but the Pukwudgies, there's like, since the 1800s, reports of them, like, with like natural poison that they make themselves, like back in like, you know, like Aboriginal tribe days. Like they're like slinging arrows at people. I'm like, that's cool. So, yeah. So I figured, I know, right, Phoenix? Yeah, all of us evil laugh. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna have one of them nick me with a arrow. Just a quick ouchie. All right, you guys, I'll be right back with the poll. Because I do write in the actual folklore research into the story. So like that's why the poison arrow, that's actually reported, which is wild to me. Wild. Jade, can you pin Andrew's comment that made you bahaha, please? I can't find it. Thank you, Nancy. Oh, you're from Arkansas, Grim? Ooh. And Sergeant said that Sergeant's from the area as well, right? Can we change Travis's name to the boyfriend formerly known as Travis? Oh my god, you guys are so funny. Yeah, Sergeant's from Arkansas too. Yeah. Have you guys... Okay, so the Arkansas people, have you guys had heard of the Ozarks Howler before, correct? Mace, thank you for the porch lights. I love those Edison lights. Hi, the effin' Catalina wine mixer just came in. I love that name. Welcome in. Okay, guys, the next poll is ready. And we have the Pukwudgies, which is the story I get hurt in, We have the hitchhiker. We have the phantom ride, which is an Are You Afraid of the Dark reworking. We have the Fresno night crawlers, the creepy pants themselves. And then we have the Deer Woman of Oklahoma. This is a hard one. You can vote in the top left-hand corner. Hi, Carmen. You can vote in the top left-hand corner there. There's a blue box. You can vote up to 50 times a person, and you can vote for more than one story. And we have the Puckwudgies versus the Hitchhiker versus the Phantom Ride versus the Fresno Night Crawlers versus the Deer Woman. Who's it gonna be? Okay, you guys, Puckwudgies for the win. Puckwudgies are the winner. I will be right back. Good night, James. Sweet dreams. Nancy, what is your name over there? I love that. Guys, get ready. Good night, Lily. Get ready. I don't want you guys to have a jump scare because they're creepy. Good night, Carmen. Good night, Suzanne. Sweet dreams. Hi, Grandma Mimsy. Yes, you did. We're doing an extra story tonight. 2K Goon said, ah! Right, Guinevere? It looks like Schmeagol. Thank you, Ella, for the coral. I love that. Thank you so much. You're correct, Sherry. They sure are. Thank you, Nancy. Oh, it's Nancy. Nancy from... Oh, duh. Yeah, they're scary, Sherry. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the Pukwudgies. Most people outside of New England have never heard of a Pukwudgie. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Chelsea. And that is probably for the best. Because unlike the more marketable monsters, the Bigfoots, the Mothmen, the Pukwudgie was never treated in the old stories as something mysterious or majestic. It was treated as malicious, cruel, and petty. The kind of thing that did not hunt because it was hungry or territorial, but because it enjoyed making human beings suffer. The legend comes primarily from the Wampanoag folklore in Massachusetts and the surrounding northeastern tribes. And similar forest trickster entities appear across Algonquin traditions under different names and variations. Depending on the telling, Pukwudgies were once friendly toward humans. Small, magical woodland beings with gray skin, oversized ears, glowing eyes, and the ability to appear and disappear at will. Then, according to the stories, something changed. Some say humans mistreated them. Some say they just became jealous of humanity. And some say they were never friendly to begin with. Whatever the reason, the legends all agree on one thing. Pugwudgies hate humans. They lure travelers off paths. They imitate voices. They sabotage camps. They poison with arrows. And they shove people from cliffs. They've been known to appear at the edges of firelight with yellow eyes and mocking smiles. And unlike many folkloric creatures, the stories about them rarely end with escape. Usually they end with someone vanishing. Massachusetts is full of spooky stories and old folklore. Witch trials, sea serpents, Bridgewater Triangle monsters, and Pugwudgies. So, I decided to take a trip to visit my friend Anthony for a long weekend in Massachusetts. I was looking forward to visiting Plymouth, seeing the old colonial sites, doing the tourist thing. But there was also another site that I was determined to see while I was there. The Freetown Fall River State Forest. A place with enough paranormal lore attached to it that some people call it the most haunted forest in America. Disappearances, UFO sightings, rumors of cults, cryptid reports, and of course, Pugwudgies. Anthony laughed when I mentioned it, and then he told me that if he was going to take me into those woods, I was not allowed to whistle. I was not allowed to follow any voices. I was not allowed to acknowledge anything moving in the brush. And under absolutely no circumstances was I allowed to leave any food behind. Apparently, according to his grandmother, leaving food in the woods was considered an offering. I thought it was charming. I love regional superstitions. The sort of folklore that every place develops when enough people get lost in the forest over the centuries. The drive there through the forest was beautiful in that deeply old New England way. The trees were taller and older than I'm used to, and the woods felt denser. It was late afternoon when we arrived, and the parking lot near one of the trailheads was nearly empty when we got there. By then the sun had hidden behind a thick layer of clouds. Anthony had brought a backpack with snacks, water, adequate flashlights, and enough practical hiking gear to suggest that he actually took this very seriously. I brought a hoodie and a backpack filled with delusional confidence. The first hour was normal. Honestly, it was peaceful. The trail wound through pines and scrub oak, over roots as thick as my wrist, and past glacier boulders draped in moss. Anthony pointed out places where locals claimed strange things had happened. A pond where people supposedly saw lights under the water. A clearing where a hiker claimed something small chased him through the trees. a narrow ravine where a teenager allegedly disappeared in the 80s. And then we found a little structure. It stood 20 or 30 feet off the trail, kind of like a crude stick hut, 3 feet high maybe, built from branches leaned together into a cone shape, decorated with stones, bones, feathers, and strips of cloth tied to the branches. My first thought was that local kids had made it. My second thought was that this is creepy enough to photograph. So I bent down near the structure, snapped a few photos while Anthony made some joke about paying tribute to the tiny goblins. And then the woods went silent. Not gradually, immediately. No birds, no wind, no insects. Just silence so complete it made the inside of my ears ring. Anthony's face went pale and he grabbed my hand and said that we needed to get out of here now. So we started speed walking. And then we picked up the pace just a little faster. And then fast enough that it wasn't really walking anymore. Okay, we were running at that point. Maybe after 3 minutes of hoofing it out of there, we heard high-pitched laughter coming from somewhere behind us in the trees. I stopped. Anthony did not, and he grabbed my arm and nearly dragged me out. He knew my curiosity would be the death of me. Then the laughter came again. This time closer. And it sounded like something trying to imitate the laughter of a child. It was horrifying. Finally, after a while, we slowed down to catch our breath. The trail back seemed way longer, and it felt like we were just walking for ages. And then came the first pebble. It struck the back of my shoulder, light, almost playful. I turned around and nothing. Then another pebble hit the dirt in front of us. And then another, and another, all thrown from different directions. Then something moved between the trees to our left, short, gray, and fast. I froze, and for half a second, I saw it clearly. Anthony. Anthony. Barely 3 feet tall, skin the color of wet stone. Long arms, large head, wide mouth stretched into something like a grin. Its eyes reflecting gold. And then it darted behind a tree. Anthony looked at me and calmly said, "Run." We bolted through the forest. Branches whipped my face. Roots caught my shoes. And all around us, I could hear that laughter. Sometimes it was ahead of us, sometimes behind. Sometimes so close it sounded like it came from right beside my ear. At one point, something small and hard struck the back of my knee and nearly sent me. Another hit my shoulder blade. And then something sharp sliced across the side of my neck. Not deep, but enough to burn. Enough that when I touched it, my fingers came away bloody. We burst into the parking lot at full sprint. I had never been so relieved to see a car in my life. We threw ourselves into Anthony's car, locked the door, and sat there, gasping for air. Nothing emerged from the trees. No movement. No figures, no laughter. Just the dark tree line perfectly silent and still. I tried to laugh it off. Adrenaline does strange things. People see strange things and panic. Maybe we spooked ourselves. Anthony and I just drove in silence. And neither of us noticed until halfway home that my neck had started swelling. By the time we reached his house, I was dizzy and nauseous, and my skin burned, and the cut on my neck had turned an angry black around the edges. We ended up in urgent care, and the doctor said it looked like some kind of natural poison around the puncture wound. He said he'd never seen anything like it. He cleaned it and gave me antibiotics and sent me home. Pukwudgies might be small, but I'll never go back into that forest again. And if you ever find yourself in the forests of southern Massachusetts, and you come across a tiny hut made of sticks and bones off the trail, do yourself a favor. Run. And that's the tale of the Pukwudgies. Dellas, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Thank you, 2K. Welcome to the porch. Glad to have you here, new friend. All right, you guys know what time it is. It is grilled cheese time. And if you're new here, welcome in. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore, and I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I am here every night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. Tonight I told an extra story, so we're a little later than usual. And yes, Magical Mom, you're just in time for the diner. If you are new here, we end every live with this story because it's everybody's favorite. And I used to end the lives and it wouldn't be read, and people would be like, wait, aren't you going to read the diner story yet? So it just became kind of a tradition. Now it has become a beloved tradition. We have characters we love, stickers in the chat. Good night, 2K. Stickers in the chat. We also have I have an entire collection of merch on the site just for this story. So if you haven't heard it before, sit back and relax and get ready for the night shift at Sycamore Diner. I'll be right back. I know, Mace. It's way past grilled cheese time, actually. It's 1:30. Good morning, Moon Girl. Fat Bottom Girl, thank you for the potato in Paris. God, I love his beret with the little sprout out the top. That little sprout out the top is really with his little baguettes in the bag. Can't handle how cute he is. Like, I want to make a potato in Paris merch because he's so cute. Like, why is he so cute? Grandma Mimsy, I love you. Isn't he cute? He is. He's so cute. A pillow? Oh my God, that's a good idea. Him and his little baguettes. He's a little potato after my heart. He's just full of carbs. All right, quick swig and then we will start the Sycamore Diner. And if you are enjoying yourself tonight, don't forget to follow me here on the porch. So if you fall off, you can find us again. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. Oh, thanks, Nancy. Sweet dreams. Of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the night shift at Sycamore Diner. I love you too, Grandma. I know, I get it. Everybody show my Grandma Mimsy some love. She's my mama. I'm not usually the kind of person who pulls over on back roads at night. Not unless I absolutely have to. But that night, something about the storm, the long drive, and that growling pit in my stomach convinced me otherwise. I was hungry. It was late October, and I was headed back to campus after a weekend visit with my friends in North Carolina. I had a midterm on Monday, and my plan had been to drive straight through. 5 hours, no stops. But then came the rain. One of those cold, slanted, whispery rains that creeps into your bones and makes the windshield wiper sound like a heartbeat. I had taken the wrong exit, trying to bypass traffic, and I ended up on a 2-lane back road, surrounded by nothing but pine trees and power lines. And that's when I saw the neon sign. SYCAMRE diner. The O in Sycamore was flickering like it hadn't worked right in years. But the rest was lit up in a cherry red neon. A tiny beacon in the middle of nowhere. I figured I'd grab a quick bite, maybe some coffee, check my map and get back on the highway. But I should have just kept driving. I should have known something was off the second I stepped inside. The bell over the door jingled, but not like a normal bell. It made this sharp metallic ping that echoed longer than it should have. The air inside was warm, almost too warm, and it smelled like grilled onions and pancake syrup. The place looked like it had been yanked straight from 1957. The checkerboard floor, the red vinyl booths, a long counter with spinning stools, even a jukebox in the corner that looked like it hadn't worked in decades. And the people? They all stopped and looked at me the second I walked in. Not in a rude way, just quiet. Like they weren't expecting me. Like I'd walked into the middle of a sentence that no one wanted to finish. A waitress, tall, with a beehive hairdo and a light blue uniform, smiled and waved me over. "You get caught in the rain, sweetheart," she said, handing me a laminated menu. I nodded, still trying to shake off that weird feeling. Yeah, the highway's a mess. She chuckled and patted my shoulder. "Well, you're safe here. Sycamore's always open for travelers." I sat down at a corner booth, and the vinyl creaked. And I remember the jukebox shifted songs by itself and started playing some slow doo-wop ballad that I didn't recognize. I looked around and everyone looked normal, sort of. There was a trucker with a thick gray beard, drinking coffee at the counter. A young couple whispering to each other in a booth by the jukebox. And an older woman stirring tea like she was lost in thought. But they all had this same look in their eyes, like they were there but also somewhere else. Like they were watching me out of the corner of their eyes even when they were looking down. The waitress came back with coffee, strong, hot, and surprisingly good. And I ordered a grilled cheese with fries. Simple, safe. She wrote it down with one of those clicky pens and said, "Don't worry, it's on the house tonight." And that was my second red flag. No diner just gives food away. While I waited, I took out my phone to check the map. No signal, and I mean nothing. No bars, no Wi-Fi. Not even GPS. Just a blank screen with a spinning wheel. I glanced out the foggy window, and the storm was still going, but now the wind had picked up. I could see the power lines swaying like jump ropes in the dark. But the diner stayed perfectly lit. Not even a flicker. The food came fast. Too fast, like under 5 minutes. but it looked amazing. Golden bread, gooey cheese, crispy fries with a little metal cup of ketchup on the side. I took a bite. Delicious. I mean, I've eaten at a lot of diners, greasy spoons, college joints, and roadside shacks, but this was hands down the best grilled cheese I've ever had. The fries were perfect, and the coffee never ran out. Every time I took a sip, it was somehow full again. I was halfway through the sandwich when the trucker got up to leave. He walked right past my table, nodded once, and whispered, "Don't stay past midnight." That's all he said. What? But he was already out the door. The waitress gave me a tight smile and walked over, collecting his empty mug. Old Earl, he's always saying weird stuff, just ignore him. But I couldn't. Something about his voice stuck with me. Something about the way he looked at me. Not like I was a customer, but like I was in danger. I checked the clock over the register. 11:42. I figured I had just enough time to finish my fries, grab the check, and head out. I still had at least 3 hours left on the road. But when I stood up, the lights flickered. Just once, and then again. And then everything in the diner stopped moving. The couple by the jukebox froze mid-sentence. The woman with the tea stopped stirring, her spoon hanging in midair. The waitress, her hand reached out for a mug, just stopped, like someone hit pause on the entire scene. I took a step back. The jukebox buzzed, glitched, and restarted a new track. I could still move, but no one else could. And then I heard it. Not music, not a storm. A voice. Not coming from anyone I could see. Just a whisper that seemed to echo from the walls. I backed toward the door, my heart hammering in my chest, and I turned the knob. Locked. Of course it was locked. I tried the windows, but they were sealed shut. I started banging on the glass and shouting, but no one was outside. Just the wind and the rain and that flickering red sign. SYCAMRE. I turned back toward the dining room, but everyone was gone. Not frozen anymore, just gone. Thank you, Skittles. The booths were empty. No plates, no crumbs, no mugs. No sign that anyone had ever even been there. Except for my plate. Still warm. And still half eaten. And then I saw the waitress. She was standing by the kitchen doors, her silhouette backlit by flickering fluorescent light. Her face was wrong. The same smile, but her eyes were empty, black and endless, like someone had painted over them. "You shouldn't be here, honey," she said in that same cheerful voice. "Not yet." I stumbled back, knocking over a chair as she took one slow step toward me. "The others, they were waiting, but you just wandered in." She raised a hand and the walls began to shimmer. Literally shimmer like heat waves on asphalt. The checkered floor rippled and the red booths started to fade, becoming outlines and then shadows and then nothing. And then I saw it. Underneath the illusion. It was charred wood, cracked tile, broken beams, and black soot. Like the diner had burned down long ago. I ran. I don't even remember how I got out. One second I was inside, and the next I was on the side of the road, soaked to the bone and gasping for air. My car was still there, parked on gravel that didn't even look like a lot anymore. Just weeds and puddles. No neon sign, no glowing windows, just nothing. I drove back to campus that night in silence. No music, no Porch Lore podcast. I kept glancing in the rearview mirror, half expecting to see that red neon flicker back to life. I didn't tell anyone, not for weeks. Not until I finally looked up Sycamore Diner on a local history site. And I found it. Burned to the ground in 1972. A gas leak. The whole place went up at midnight. And everyone inside was killed. 5 patrons, a waitress, and a cook. The photo in the article, the same checkerboard floor, the same red booths, the same neon sign. SYCAMORE. And in the corner of the photo, that same waitress, smiling. I never took that back road again. I don't even drive at night anymore if I can help it. And every time I see a neon diner sign, something in me flinches just a little. Because I know I was there. And I know I wasn't supposed to be. But the part that keeps me up sometimes, the part that really makes my stomach turn, that was the best damn grilled cheese I've ever had. And I didn't even pay for it. And that's the tale of the night shift at Sycamore Diner. And with that, I love you guys. Thanks for being here. Happy Monday. I hope you guys liked the new story. please head over to the YT if you can't fall asleep still. And please check out the merch, even if you don't buy anything. I think you guys will like it. It's cute and funny stuff with all our jokes on it. And yes, Skittles, it was. And thank you as always. I love spending my evenings with you guys. You guys are the best. And I love our community, and I'm grateful every day for it. Yes, please do, Autumn. I'd love that. And I will see you guys again tomorrow at the same time in the same place, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I hope you guys get some wonderful sleep. And don't forget, stay spooky.